She had fallen asleep again. In the middle of the drill yard, boots pounding, rifles clashing in unison, and there she was, curled on the edge of the formation, eyes shut, chest rising and falling in quiet defiance. Whispers spread like sparks through dry grass. Some soldiers shook their heads in disgust. Others smirked. To them, she was a failure, a burden, a shame to the uniform. But to the SEAL commander standing at the edge of the field, watching her, with unreadable eyes, she was something else entirely. Before I tell you what happened next, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I love knowing who's listening. No one knew why she slept. They only saw weakness. They didn't see the nights she spent wide awake, wrestling with the memories she could never escape. The sound of gunfire replayed in her head. The face of the brother she had lost on deployment haunted her dreams. Sleep had become her enemy, so when exhaustion finally broke through, it came like a thief in daylight, stealing her away in the worst moments. The other recruits avoided her. They muttered that she was unfit. Some even laughed when her head dropped mid-formation, as if her suffering were entertainment. Shame burned her from the inside, but she carried it in silence, never offering an excuse. She had promised herself. She would not speak of her scars, but the SEL commander, a man forged by years of war, had seen too many faces like hers. He saw the tightness in her jaw, the flicker of panic when a door slammed too hard, the exhaustion that went deeper than muscle. And on that morning, he decided the whispers had gone on long enough. He gave a single order: wake her. The recruits jolted. A few laughed, expecting punishment. One soldier nudged her shoulder roughly. Her eyes opened, glazed and confused. But instead of berating her, instead of tearing her down, the commander's voice carried across the yard with a weight that silenced even the smirks. Formation at rest. Every soldier froze. This had never happened before. Dust hung in the air, golden in the morning light, as the commander stepped forward. His boots pressed into the earth with deliberate calm. And when he reached her, he extended a hand. The murmurs died. The air itself seemed to hold its breath. You carry a war inside you, he said quietly, but loud enough for every ear to hear. But you are not broken. Not here. Not with me. The words struck harder than any reprimand. Her throat tightened, eyes stinging. For months, she had endured silence, shame, and mockery. And now, in front of the very people who dismissed her, the commander gave her dignity back. The recruits shifted uncomfortably. Their laughter had turned to guilt. For the first time, they saw not a weak woman, but a wounded warrior standing among them. Still trembling, she rose to her feet. Her hands clenched at her sides. And then the commander gave the order that changed everything. You will not run this drill alone. We move together, as one. What followed was unlike any drill before. The unit surged forward, boots hammering. The dirt, rifles snapping up in unison. But instead of leaving her behind, they surrounded her. When she faltered, 2 soldiers steadied her arms. When she stumbled, the line slowed to match her pace. The commander's voice rang over them all, fierce and commanding, shaping chaos into rhythm. For the first time, she wasn't alone in the fight. For the first time, the burden she carried didn't feel unbearable. The drill ended not in exhaustion, but in something close to awe. Silence lingered, heavy and raw, before a ripple of applause spread through the formation. It wasn't ordered. It wasn't forced. It rose from the very people who had once mocked her, and in that moment, a truth carved itself into every heart present. Strength wasn't just about running fastest or standing tallest. Sometimes, it was about carrying someone until they could stand on their own again. Because kindness doesn't vanish, it waits, and it finds its way back. And as the sun dipped lower over the drill yard, the image remained, the commander's hand extended, a soldier rising from the dust, and a unit learning that the battlefield wasn't only fought with weapons, but with compassion. If this story moved you, Make sure to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs reminding. No battle is ever fought alone. And tell me in the comments, have you ever seen kindness change everything in a single moment?